Well, the Federal Trade Commission finalized its, quote, click-to-cancel rule last week, requiring media subscriptions to make it as easy to cancel as it is to sign up. And the media industry has responded with the NCTA, Internet and Television Association, suing the FTC, along with two other groups, arguing that the FTC overstepped its authority and failed to provide evidence of the cancellation problem. The NCTA is made up of multiple media industry players, including Warner Brothers Discovery, Charter, and CNBC's parent company, Comcast. Joining us now to discuss the rule and the response is Douglas Farrar. He is FTC's Director of Public Affairs. Doug, welcome. Good to have you with us. As I understand it, these new rules apply to situations that entail what's known as a negative option. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong about that. And explain, if you wouldn't mind, what a negative option kind of subscription is.
Yeah, absolutely. It applies to negative options, which are basically when you sign up for a subscription and then if you take no action, it will not be canceled. And, this has become a huge problem across the economy. The rule is very simple. It just says it must be as easy to cancel your subscription as it is to sign up. And that's true of both digital subscriptions, but also in person, things like gym memberships. And the problem is really, really widespread because, most American consumers have about 4.5 subscriptions each. And we know this grew a lot in COVID. The FTC takes a lot of consumer complaints. And in 2021, we had about 40 complaints a day on average of people trying to cancel subscriptions. And now we're up close to 70 this year. And it doesn't just cost people money. I mean, this is an infuriating thing to go through when you're being cycled through one telemarketing phone call after another, or you have to jump through some outrageous hoop like sending a notarized letter to your gym in order for them to let you out of your subscription. And at the bottom line is, if your business model is based on forcing consumers to pay a regular fee to you against their will, you're going to have a big problem.
So this is not merely, doesn't merely apply to subscriptions that you might sign up for online. It could be subscriptions that you sign up for in person.
That's absolutely right. And the rule is the same. It has to be as easy to cancel as it is to sign up.
Does this mean in practice then that if I sign up online for a subscription for Apple News at $9.99 a month, and it goes on unless I cancel, that there will have to be a clear tab on the welcome screen that says cancel my subscription? Well, how would it get applied?
Well, the basic way it's applied is that consumers must know that the information they're receiving is true, clear, and easy to find. People have to know what they're agreeing to before they sign up. Sellers have to be able to show that people knew what they're agreeing to before they sign up. And then, yes, there must be a way to cancel that is as easy as it is to sign up.
How does the FTC view the lawsuits from other media companies who say that this ruling, if it goes into effect, would be unfair?
Well, we're not surprised that we've been sued and we're ready to defend the rule in court. I think zooming out a little bit, you see a trend where big business lobbyists and their attorneys think they can click their heels together and say Chevron doctrine 3 times and regulations go poof. But, the truth is far from that. I mean, the FTC has never once brought a Chevron doctrine case to court, and we won't be using it to defend this challenge either. We're a 110-year-old agency operating under a very clear statute. And actually, this click-to-cancel rule is a revision of a rule we started in 1973. So we're revising a 50-year-old rule. Consumer protection rules like this are clearly authorized by the FTC Act, and we look forward to proving that in court.
Douglas, I also want to get your thoughts on today's news. Tapestry's $8.5 billion deal of Capri being blocked by the FTC. How do you respond to Tapestry? The company says it faces competition from both lower and higher end priced brands, and that this merger would have been good for consumers. And now you have companies within these two enterprises that see that they're now less financially stable because this deal may not go through.
Well, we're obviously delighted by the judge's decision, and the judge looked pretty skeptically on that argument as well. And we're not surprised. I mean, both of these companies talked frequently about the market for affordable luxury, which is how we defined it in our suit. And these companies compete fiercely with one another. Wall Street investors use that same market definition. And so actually, we were a little surprised that this lawsuit was met with such skepticism in the markets. the district court judge in the opinion repeated multiple times that, whatever witnesses say on the stand, she's going to weigh that a little less heavily than what witnesses and business executives say prior to merger review starting. And in this case, they were very clear that they were aggressively competing against each other on price and for workers. And I think zooming out, we were a little surprised about how the analysts reacted to this merger when we challenged it. Companies who define the market in their own words and then compete fiercely with one another, those are going to raise big flags if they seek to merge. And hopefully those flags will be raised in the boardroom before mergers of this nature are considered in the future.
Well, both companies have filed an appeal. We'll see how far the FTC goes to kill this deal.